Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Ask Jerry. Today, we have got a power packed topic, very interesting, and I'm very sure within your organizations you may have ran over the topic, but from a perspective of it being an occurrence within your sales department, the marketing department, or any other department that is in relation to acquiring new customers, getting into new markets. And if you're new here, please subscribe, share the video, and interact with it because it helps the algorithm to recommend the video to other people. And remember, we've got a draw where we are giving away $100 to anybody who shares, who likes, and comments our videos, particularly asking questions in the comment section. But well, let me introduce the man. Comrade, how are you?
Steve, how is it?
I'm okay, and yourself?
I'm okay.
How are you feeling now that we are shifting from winter into summer?
It's fine.
Do you have an excuse for not waking up early these days now? Because
there's no excuse because even in the winter, you have to wake up early.
What about bathing?
I started bathing after finishing my school because I used to be at Maristi Brothers. It was a boys' eye. So sometimes we'd bath once in a month. But we've since repented. Probably I was going to be light in complexion, like one of our hosts, Abby, but because of boys' eye.
I remember in the book you actually wrote about it that the only other time that you properly took a bath was when the girls' schools were visiting.
Exactly, everyone would bath.
No, that's fine. So that's a mirror of what we're going to be talking about. So I've heard a lot of people, especially big organizations, they talk about the economy being the reason why they're not performing. If you send out a sales team, if you send out a marketing team, if you send the team in the organization that is responsible for bringing in business, and then they don't deliver on the numbers, and then you ask them, guys, why are we not getting new clients? Why are we not getting new businesses? Why are our sales going down? Everyone will be saying, the economy is not moving well.
Yeah.
So today, that's the gist of our conversation. I want you to talk to us as a sales expert, why you do not believe that the economy is a scapegoat for non-performers in sales.
Okay. Yeah. Not only in sales, but in entrepreneurship as a whole. Like what I've discovered is during my consultations, because I'm no longer consulting only Zimbabweans. You get it to Tswana, someone who's in the UK, someone who's in Zambia, someone who's in South Africa. Even someone is in South Africa will be also even crying that, my brother, if only the economy was okay, this business was going to be at another level. You get into Zambia again. My brother, this economy is bad. Yes, I understand that there are dynamics which can actually affect you as a business. Like, for example, you look at the power cuts which are happening right now in Zambia and Zimbabwe. Although in Zambia, it's actually worse than in Zimbabwe right now. That affects business, yes. But what I've noticed is people, they've got an excuse. And I think we're creatures which feel good when there's a common excuse which is there. Like a mantra to just say, I think, like right now, if you look at young girls, they're now actually saying, I think not being married is marriage is not an achievement. Then if at least 4 or 5 girls of your age are saying that, then you're feeling like it's socially correct. And sometimes, but you know what is actually correct. So what I've discovered is it's an issue of mindset. I've interacted with a lot of entrepreneurs. And when you start to ask them, and you're now asking them to say, fine, you're saying it's economy. Where is it the economy actually affecting you? Then they'll say people don't have money. Then I'm like, okay, fine. Let's come here, look through the window. Probably like close here, there's Samora Machel.
Yeah.
You see those cars. How many GD6s pass through? Does it mean people don't have money, or people don't have money to give you? People, they've got money, but sometimes they cannot have money to give you because probably you suck in the way you're doing things, or the way you are actually doing things is wrong. And if you discover, especially here in Zimbabwe, whereby SMEs are plenty as compared to probably any other country in Southern Africa because of the dynamics of our economy, look at where look where Zimbabwe is. Some of the businesses which have started, it's because of we're taking advantage of the same economy. Like you look at how pharmacies have mushroomed. I think it's a topic of another day. You look at, I was moving around, driving around Harare city. I tell you, there are now plenty of pharmacies. But if you look at that, it's because probably hospitals don't have medicine. It's people are taking advantage of the same economy. But when they are now in the game, they've now entered a certain hustle because of the economy. But once they're now doing that, they're also crying that is because of the what? The economy.
The economy. Yeah, I see. So you mentioned something that is very pivotal to this conversation, to say there are genuine issues that genuinely affect the economy, and you mentioned the issue to do with power cuts, where certain provisions, certain businesses or services do not perform so well in the absence of electricity. Then there's also an excuse that people just give generally to say, no, the market doesn't have money. So how do we dissect between the two, a genuine concern and an excuse? How do we discern?
Okay, I'll give you an example. Like when Zig was introduced, people were saying the economy is no longer liquid. But I'll give you a practical example of what we did in our company and what we've written as we've got posters in almost every office that no excuse, no complaints. We don't want to sit in a meeting whereby we're deliberating what is wrong with the economy. Because we're never going to control the economy. But we are supposed to be controlling. Sometimes you cannot control the rains, but you can have the umbrella to actually say, be comfortable whilst it's raining. So what I'm simply saying is the attitude which I've developed even ever since we started our brand is, no, let us not focus on the economy. We don't have control over that. Let us focus on what we can control. Take advantage. Whilst everyone, and what I've noticed is, whilst everyone is giving excuses, that's the time to actually rise, because everyone is thinking that it cannot be done. When the economy is good, everyone is thinking that when the economy is good, everything is okay. People start being introspect to say, no, fine. It's not because of the economy. The economy is okay. Everything is fine. So it's because of me. Hence, they'll go out and work hard. But when people now, they are actually having an excuse of the economy, take it during COVID. Everyone was just saying, even the guy who didn't have any cent in their account before COVID started, when COVID started, when probably you wanted to claim your money from them, they'll start saying, don't worry, Steve. I'll give you money soon after COVID is end. Definitely I'll have money. And a guy who was poor before COVID was actually even saying, I'm in this status because of COVID. As soon as COVID starts, I'll marry you. As soon as COVID starts, I'll give you your money. I'll give you your salary if COVID ends. You get what I mean? So those are excuses. We are species of excuses. But if we can change the mindset and to adopt that strategy to say, let us focus the first on our internal processes. Let us see something which is wrong in our processes. If it sells, are we really doing ourselves properly? I think I've done a lot of seminars whereby if you ask, why are you not making sales? No one wants to point out to what they are doing themselves. Or to actually say, I think I've got little knowledge about sales. So I need to be trained on follow-up. I need to be trained on prospecting. But people, they're busy to say, it's price. I think because our products, like the seminar, I think I did a training in Kwekwe on Sunday. The guys were saying, if they give us the cheap products, we'll sell more. But as we were now training them, at the end of the training, everyone voted that they don't know sales. It's themselves. It's not. There's nothing to do with the economy, nothing to do with prices, nothing to do with products. Actually, they've got a better advantage when they're selling original products.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting. And you took me back there when you mentioned that we are a species of excuses. I remember coming across a quote that said, excuses are nothing but a well-rehearsed lie. So perhaps we are lying to ourselves by giving excuses. We until we eventually believe that there's no money. So for the audience that we have who are tuning into this podcast and they want to know now, how do we prepare ourselves to tackle these hurdles that are ourselves. Because we said we may not even fix the economy, but we need to look internally to see where our processes are failing. So maybe let's start by looking at what ideal process can we adopt as entrepreneurs, as businesses, to ensure that we are secured, such that if we implement it efficiently and things don't work, then we can now agree to say, there must be something wrong in the economy because we now have a process in place. Can you walk me through that process?
Okay.
What could be an ideal process?
Thank you so much. I think the first, what you're supposed to do as an entrepreneur or as a salesperson, as a marketer, because this one is affecting everyone, is to adopt an issue of whereby you're supposed to have a positive attitude towards anything.
All right.
And SI has been introduced, whereby probably everyone is crying. They're saying the budget is wrong. They were supposed to do this and this. Why can't you read the budget? And if you notice, the people who debate about the budget, most of them, they would even not read the budget themselves. They just hear. It's hearsay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The budget is bad. They've introduced Zig. They've introduced what? What about if you take that budget, start reading it with the intention of getting some opportunities? Because everything which is bad, like right now, we're saying probably the city, everything is now slow. Yes, people are closing roads. But do you know that construction companies are smiling all the way to the bank? Because roads are being repaired. They're making money. We've got them boots around about.
Yeah.
Some people are crying and they're actually saying, these guys, they should finish up. But there's a contractor who is actually enjoying. So what about if you adopt a positive mindset towards everything? If someone is saying is black, try to find some positives. I still remember when people were debating some time back before even President Trump became a president. And people were saying, Trump, that guy can never be a president. He's a joker, etc. Do you know what I started doing? I started reading his books. I'm reading how he actually managed to build the Trump empire from his father up to where he is now, right now. The guy once went broke. Right now he's now out back making more billions. When I started reading about him, I'm like, this dude, I started liking him more. Because it's not always when people are decampaigning someone and they're saying someone is wrong, but sometimes when you look at it with a third eye, with a positive eye, because it's what you see. Because you can choose to say, it's in the evening. Someone can actually say, I can do some other things in the evening. That's why some people use evenings for sleep. Some of us will use them for writing books. It's different. So at first it's about attitude. Then when your attitude is right now, it's about scrutinizing. What are you supposed to do? If there's something which is making you suffer, even if your sales are low, even if you're not getting it in business, I tell you, it's not about something which you know. There's something which you don't know. Right. So look for that something which you don't know. Probably look at your company. You're thinking that productivity is at 100%. I'll tell you, on Sunday, I was asking the people I was training, I'm asking them questions, and I say to them, you guys are 33 of you. How many hours are you spending on social media? Then do you know what they said? The other guys, I said minimum. They said 4 hours. And they've got an 8 working hour day. So it simply means it's 50%. Exactly. 50% is social media, is chit-chatting. And they asked the two ladies actually said, this is the minimum. It's more than that. So when you look at those kind of things now, yes, you're now hiring people who can actually come probably and do an HR audit to say, the reason why there's unproductiveness in our company, is it really because the economy is affecting us? Or our processes, we are slow in delivering products. We are slow on answering. Right now, my brother told me, I think you've got an experience. Try to inquire something on social media, especially in Zimbabwe. How much time do they spend to respond?
Yeah, sometimes they may even respond tomorrow, following day.
You see, but are we really hungry to react to the economy which we are seeing it's hard? So I think if the economy is hard, we're supposed to be even more hungry. We're supposed to even respond to those messages even in 30 seconds because everyone is hungry. But you see, we're saying we're in an economy which is bad, but someone is 4 hours, they're on what? So sometimes it's about hiring experts. There's something which you don't know. Ask for advice. Steve, I've got my business. I think there's something which I'm doing wrong. Please try to just check on what I'm doing. Please help me. Sometimes you're going to hear that, no, you need to do this. You need to adjust on this. Sometimes you've got 70 people, but you actually need 35. Yeah.
I see. And maybe before we continue the conversation, let's give a shout out to today's sponsor of this video. It's M&J, and the mandate is to create timeless businesses. And of course, if you want a partner for success, either with registering a company in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zambia, Dubai, whatever the case may be, just hit us up on the numbers that are showing on the screen somewhere down below there, and somebody will be on the other end of the line to take care of you.
How are you running your business? I hope not like Peter. Introducing Odoo ERP, the one software for your entire business. With Odoo, you get 3 value propositions. 1. Scalability. Odoo grows with you, allowing you to install applications on the fly as your company's needs grow. 2. Cost effectiveness. You can have functionality of 7 systems in one platform at the cost of 1 license. 3. Customizations. Backed up by thousands of developers worldwide, Odoo is adaptable to match your business needs. Success is waiting for you. Get in touch with us now and let's do business.
The chartered vendor. Chartered, it simply means the experience which I got from the workplace and through formal education. Vendor, it simply means that I was once a vendor selling sweets, selling bananas on the streets. Combined, it makes the chartered vendor. Many people complain, they think that you need monetary capital to start a business. Contrary to that, I only started my business with only a laptop. If you want to know more about my story, grab your copy today.
Right, that was word from our sponsors. Do engage them on the numbers that we are appearing on the screen so that you get a quick service for your needs as far as registering or getting into another country with your business and expanding, and be like entrepreneurs that expand, get a taste of different economies. Maybe the way the Zambian economy is sour is different from the Zimbabwean sourness, but altogether it all complements each other.
Exactly.
And you find a balance. So you were talking about the things that entrepreneurs need to do in order to ensure that within themselves they have the right systems and processes that can help them survive the different turmoil that is in the economy. And you had mentioned the issues to do with the attitude. Why not look at things from a different perspective? When you were saying that, I quickly remembered one of these other days. There was a time when our government was releasing these monetary policy statements. So being in that space, someone actually solicited for my opinion about the policy. Then I gave them my 2 cents.
Exactly.
And I hadn't read all of it. They asked me about a certain thing. So I told them what it meant and then what could be its implications. Then they were less interested in the information that I was giving them. They wanted an overall judgment to say, Hamdara, is it good or bad? So I then said, for the greater part, it's bad.
Exactly.
This is not healthy at all. Do you know what they did? They forgot all the other information that I told them. They went into groups, and some of these groups I was in there. And now they were mentioning it like it's their opinion. So they were already bashing and saying, no, it's bad, it's not coming out nice, it's whatever. Then when people started asking for reasons why they were saying it's bad, they then copied and pasted my message to them. Why did you just cite me? Exactly. And then we have a conversation along those lines. So yeah, let's get into the third item in terms of what our entrepreneurs need to do or business owners need to do to fix the internals before we get to the economy.
Yeah, like what we were actually saying, to say people, we've got a certain attitude towards some other things. Like what you're also saying.
Yeah.
Do you know that in 2022 or 2023, if I'm not mistaken, the government actually, there's when we got the Newcomers Act, which is there, which actually said we're supposed to be re-registering our companies because we want to go digital.
Yeah.
It's bad for someone who's not in that space, but to tell you, for us as consultants, we're probably in that space. Imagine how many companies are going to be re-registered.
Basically, all of them. We can say all of them.
It's a huge cake.
Yeah.
It's a huge cake.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity. But when you look at it with that eye to say, probably, if people are saying tax clearance are very difficult to get, do you know that for a consultant is excited? If there are more murder cases, more rape cases, do you know that a lawyer will be smiling all the way to the bank?
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are dying, COVID-19 is now there. Depending with how you've structured your funeral home. Sometimes there are those funeral homes where you're supposed to be paying for all the burials and everything. Do you know that they'll be smiling?
Obviously.
If people don't die also, they'll be actually saying, economy is bad.
I remember coming across a joke on social media. Someone was saying, the pastor, they were preaching, and then they were praying. And then they got to prayer requests to say anybody who would like for us to pray for them as a church. Then this short young man stood up and said, business has been slow. So I want the church to help me pray so that, business can grow. The pastor was very excited. These are the kind of people we want in the church. People who run businesses, and the pastor was ignited. And then they were calling everyone to pray for this gentleman's business. And then out of interest, then said, so that we are more specific about what we are praying for. What's your line of business? Like, no, I run a coffin business. So now they were implying that more people should die so that his business can grow.
You see?
Yeah, so I get where you're coming from.
So like what I was actually saying, when you're in business, it's you need mentors as well. Like, you need someone who can guide you, and always read. Sometimes sometimes you cannot have physical mentors. Sometimes you need even virtual mentors. Like personally, I've got virtual mentors. People I follow. People I even follow what they say, what they write. I take some of their 2 cents, apply them in my business, seeing that things are actually changing. So that's when I noticed that sometimes it's not about the economy. 99% of the challenges which most of the businesses are facing is because of them. It has got nothing to do with the economy. It has got nothing to do with their competition. But most of the times it's because they relax. Whilst when you get into business, sometimes when you're doing very good, you tend to relax. When you relax, before you know it, competitors, they come in, they overtake you. Look at what happened to the brands like Nokia, Kmart, etc. They disappeared. Why? It's because sometimes people relax, people fail to innovate, people think that they're leading the market, but there's someone who is out there who wants to get you out of the business. So even when you're number one, you're supposed to know that there's someone who's number two who also wants to be number one. People want to overtake you. So people tend to relax. People, they get into a comfort zone whereby they think things will never end. Like probably can enjoy the advantages of load shedding by probably bringing solar business. But you must always innovate. Think about when probably there's no longer load shedding. Think about when probably you are selling coffins. But think about probably the life expectancy now has grown to 73, 80. How are you going to survive? Always innovate. Always bring something different. Even if, yes, you've got a coffin business, why can't you also start probably a medical aid business? Always try to bring something new in your business. Find ways to also probably expand horizontally or vertically. Find ways to add something. If for products, probably you are selling products, you're still a startup, there are no chances of expanding. Check the fundamentals, the cause of the business, which are sales, marketing. I think marketing actually leads on that. How am I doing my marketing? Am I known? Number 2, look at the sales part. Look at your HR. Look at your people. Are they sold to your idea? What's your vision? Are you only in business to make $1 million? Because some people are only in business to make money. And usually when things are hard now, they switch to other businesses. Those are the people when you notice today they're doing what? They're doing... They are runners because probably
it's paying that season.
Tomorrow they've got broilers
selling fuel.
Exactly. Tomorrow fuel. So they're just running around like headless chickens because what they're looking for only is money. But when money only is your motivation, I tell you, very soon you'll be tired and very soon you'll be out of the business. So if you notice all the great business people, you look at your Elon Musk, they've got greater visions than money. You look at your Jeff Bezos. They've got something which is bigger. They've got something which is driving them, which is bigger than money.
Bigger than the
You look
money.
at even your Donald Trump's. He's coming in for a second term with a bang. And I think that is winning. Is coming in with a bang. Look at him, has achieved everything. He was once a US president. He is a billionaire. So do you think he's still hunting for money?
Yeah,
These
it's not all
guys,
about
they've
money.
got vision. And if you check on what happened when he was missed with a bullet, fist in the air, shows that no, there's something bigger which is actually chasing than only dollars and cents. But unfortunately, us, probably, yes, it's good to start a business because you want money. But sometimes along the process of building that business, it's good to also switch and ask yourself, why am I really doing this? Do I really like doing what I'm doing? Am I going to grow old 80, 90 years and feel proud that when I went down there on earth, this is what I built? Am I going to be proud? Probably no.
Yeah.
So do something which is actually, do your passion.
Okay, so now you brought in some interesting names into the conversation. I was looking at the biography for Donald Trump is orated by him. So he was speaking and he said, I was broke and whatnot, and then he said his father loaned him 10 million. So, and then we have the likes of Elon Musk. Elon Musk will tell you the story that, I came from humble beginnings and what, but his father owned an entire estate in South Africa, right? So those guys, like, they had money. And when they say we dropped out of college, they were not dropping out of Nyakatsapa High School. They were dropping out of Harvard School of Business or Harvard University or whatever, or Yale. They were dropping out from those top institutions. So for them, they had pretty much all of the basics that they needed covered as far as homes, food, and they never had to worry about what they're going to eat. So they have the opportunity to dream of a bigger picture. Now let's try and bring it closer to home, where I'm having to get into a business, and getting into that business, I still have to worry about what I'm going to eat. You've been in that space. You've been a vendor. You know what it means to go to work every day, trying to sell something, and the money not being able to even pay for your rent. Even if your whole stock is cleared, the money that you get is not even enough to pay for your rent. Let's try and think from that space. And then you are given, let's throw in the mix some of the situations that we have in Zimbabwe. I'll give you an example of a business. There was a guy who started fresh in a box.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was delivering vegetables and whatnot.
Very good business.
Yeah, very good business. But there's a reason why it failed. The main reason why it failed was the internet costs of Zimbabwe, such that there was very few people who could use the application because of data cost. So now for an entrepreneur like him, coming from a background where you even lack the basics like the food to eat, how do you have a vision that is higher than having money to buy the next meal?
Okay, thank you so much. So what I'm saying is, when you're setting up a vision, like if you look at even those guys, the reason why those guys, they also motivate me is, you look at them, they're dreamers. They as much as they've got everything, but they'll be always dreaming big. So sometimes it's that age which lacks in some of us. I'll tell you, when I was a vendor, I still remember telling some of the guys where I was vending with, you say, no, see me in 10 years time, I won't be where I am. Probably I'll be able to give you employment. Then I also said, see me after 10 years. So it's about challenging yourself, end of the day, to say, fine, as much as we are coming from the Southern Africa, and we're coming from Africa, we're coming from bad economies, third world, but we cannot always throw pity parties. You see? So that we want to be called that our background, I was once a vendor. We cannot always have those kind of excuses, because end of the day, everyone has got opportunities to go out. I'll go out and hustle. Imagine if I'd actually said, no, I don't have money to go to university, hence I'm just going to be wait. Sometimes you don't have to wait, you have to push for it. You have to get into the streets with the $20 which you have, sell bananas, sell oranges. Before you know it, probably next to 3 months, that capital would have doubled and you move to the next stage. Opportunities will always come, will always follow those who are actually working hard. And sometimes they call it luck, but luck actually also chases people who are dreaming. Like right now, if you say, my dream is to even buy the whole street in Zimbabwe, it will come true, because what you are saying and why you are also thinking about that. Sometimes our mindset, when you start thinking about something, it also adjusts, because the universe also rewards people who are thinking big. If you're going to God and they're also praying for small things, you just get your food. At the end of the day, a lot is going to be, you're only focusing on food, you're only focusing on a house, you're only focusing on a GD6, but there's too much out there. If you're focusing on a private plane, who knows? Steve can come with what? You end up having it. So what I'm simply saying is, to entrepreneurs, as much as things can be hard, we're coming from Africa, we bootstrap, we don't have loans. You look at sometimes things are against us, internet is bad, etc. But those are the opportunities. Because entrepreneurship is about solving problems. If we don't have problems, it simply means that cake is going to be small. That's why you notice that businesses in Zimbabwe, they struggle when they get into South Africa. Why? Because it's an organized economy. You're now fighting against the international giants. And these are guys who have got a lot of millions to invest in marketing.
Yes.
They've got even billions to invest in marketing, but you're now getting there with your small budget. And definitely you suffer. So sometimes appreciate where we are. Here in Zimbabwe, for a certain reason, I know people are now millionaires. People have made a lot of money because of the situation we are in as a country. So if you've got potholes, that's an opportunity. If people are hungry, that's an opportunity. If people are dying, that's an opportunity. If our hospitals don't have medicine, that's also an opportunity. So let us always look at, how am I going to benefit from the problems which are inside our economy? No matter, yes, we can cry and say Trump had an advantage, Elon Musk had an advantage. Yes, but look at them. How many also had those kind of advantages? But are they successful like them? No. So these are people who took chances. These are people with different mindset. These are people who can suffer. You see, Elon Musk, as rich as he is willing to sleep on a couch. But you look at a guy who doesn't even have a bed. They want to go and sleep at 6, and they can even wake up tomorrow at 9. And I don't even know if they will be enjoying the flow. I don't know. But the issue now is about, are you willing to suffer? Are you willing to put your body in, to make sure that you're in pain? You're talking about even Donald Trump, he was shot. If it was ordinary Zimbabwean, probably was going to sleep for the next was going to ask you for a 2 months leave, sick leave. Because you see, but this guy, the next day, he was already public, campaigning. This is the mindset which I'm talking about. As I see Steve Harvey, I don't look at him, I don't judge him, but that he said I was poor. Do you know what Steve Harvey once said? He said, I used to put my clothes in the what? I used to only have a car. You see? And I used to sleep in a car. This side of Africa, when you're sleeping in a car, my brother.
Got money. The moment you're driving, you've got money.
You see? So sometimes that's what I'm saying. When I'm looking at a person, I don't want to judge their past. I'm looking at Steve. Look at him. What kind of positives can I take from them? What kind of energy can I take from them? Probably I might not be the Elon Musk who can sleep for 2-3 hours, but I can adjust and probably sleep for 5-6 hours. And sometimes I'm normal, I'm okay. Sometimes I can even adjust to 7. If I'm not, but what the whole concept is, if you work hard, if you also work smart, if you also research. Right now there's AI. I tell you, interview Zimbabweans or Africans, probably 99% of Africans don't know how to use AI. A very few. It's an issue of what? Mindset.
Of the mindset. Okay, maybe as we wrap up the conversation, every business they've got. I remember when we were studying these business dynamics, we always heard about the barriers of entry, or barriers to entry, and every industry has got its own barriers to entry. Some of them you can outmaneuver, and then some of them they are just there. I'll give an example. We have got 3 mobile network operators, one of which is almost non-existent. Telecel, we only have Net1 and Econet, and Econet is outpacing most of them. And the quality of service coming from Econet as the biggest player, it's declining. It's almost as if the population is growing, but they're not increasing the infrastructure to support the population. Don't you think there are entrepreneurs who've already thought about getting into that network business, but there are barriers to entry that have made it seemingly impossible for any Tom and Jake to just get into that space? So maybe we've got an entrepreneur who's like that, who's saying, you know what, I've noticed that gap in the Zimbabwean market, that we need to start a telecoms company. But they will tell you that the license is probably 25 million and the money of your whole dynasty combined is not even $1 million. Maybe you end in the thousands or 2,000. For someone like that who's listening to this conversation, what sort of solid advice can we give to them as far as them complaining to say, the economy is just bad? Because there are barriers to entry which are genuine. What advice can we give to people who are in similar thought frames or similar situations?
Thank you so much. If you notice, I would like to give us as an example. Let us check in 2022. We didn't have equipment. We didn't have cameras. But did we have an excuse of not doing it? We started filming way back.
Using phones.
We didn't have anything, but we just said, let's do it. We didn't have a studio. We didn't have all these mics, all these cameras, good videographers, but we started with whatever we have. So sometimes it's about when we're dreaming. I'll also give you an example where we're looking at how we can educate Africans, me and you. And we said we want an idea. We want to train people sales. We found a gap in the market. People don't know sales. And we had a lot of ideas. So some ideas were saying, I think I was even invited by some of these institutes and actually they said, no, Jerry, we're now going to be giving you sales inside our institute. But our rules are A, B, C, D. You see? But it was not part of our vision. Then, as other ideas said, actually, we should actually be part of for your certificate to be recognized. You need to collaborate with the universities. But what did we do? We started with whatever we have. We are building this institute. Trust me, this institute in the next 10 years, it will be one of the best things we should have actually done here in Africa. With a lot of members. Probably right now what I'm seeing, it's a big building. A nice building. The vision which I have with the institute, it's huge. But did we have it as an excuse to say, okay, fine, before we only start with 100 students. We only start when we've got everything, when we've got all the equipment. Let us not wait until we've got everything. Start with the little which you have. If you've got $10 right now, find that $10. How can it multiply? Sometimes we've got nothing. Why can't you just visit on internet instead of concentrating on all these funny jokes and whatever people are saying on internet? What about if you start concentrating on someone who's selling real estate, someone who's selling his car? My brother, if you're selling a car for 5,000, what about if I find a buyer who wants it for 5,500? Are you going to give me my 500 bucks? Go there, go out there, out also everyone, come with someone who's going to buy the car. You get your $500, but it's only that you are limited in terms of thoughts. Coming to what you are saying, we're looking at where Econet is big, it's massive. Probably they are also probably the ones who can also probably say we are also facing challenges of the economy, but I don't know how they managed to build boosters when the economy they started when the economy was bad. And they're still operating in a bad economy. But I don't know the excuse. Probably they've got a valid excuse, I don't know. But the question is now, it's a capital intensive business. As much as probably I want to get into telecoms, but right now I've got probably 100,000 only. Probably I've got 50,000. Probably I've got 20,000. I've got 10,000. But if you dream big, you can start with whatever you have. Start small. Start with something small. And you know that very well, in next 10 or 30 years, I'm supposed to build my own telecoms company. It will come. The dream will be fulfilled. But that's now, our dreams now is to make money. And when I make money, when I make few dollars, when I think that I've made money, I want to buy a GD6. Not because I'm buying because I've got any need. I've seen GD6 which are packed the whole day. It's only used to go home and coming back to work. In a congested city, driving that big machine, Friday to what? To Saturday, getting into town, just go home. Are you really maximizing the GD6, or you have only bought it because I want when Steve visits me, I'll be like, okay, these are my keys, this is my car, and this is my house. Are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it to please people? That's why I notice that some people have got a lot of resources, but they spend those resources on liabilities because we want to please other people.
Yeah. Before we started recording, there's something that you said about pretending to have money. Can we end with that quote? There's something that you said, I think it's very important.
Okay, so I'm saying when you pretend to have more money, when you pretend to have money, you actually lose more money. Yeah. So the more you are pretending that you've got money, in the process, you actually lose more money. Because you want to clothe that, you want to expensive suits, you want expensive phone, but in the real world, you know that you're broke. So it's going to be very expensive for you
to pretend that you are rich. Very interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this episode of Ask Jerry, the Chartered Vendor. So ladies and gentlemen, I know you've got questions that were not answered. It's now time to burn your fingers in the keyboard, on your keyboard, in the comment section. Type in that burning question that you have. It will help us carry the conversation onward. But for now, I'd like to leave you with this word that Denzel Washington said. He said that start with what needs to be done for you to be able to do what you want to do. So essentially, that's the mentality of just start. Let's just start as Africans. Let's just start and let us dream beyond having money, but contributing to a meaningful society, living this world better than we found it. And with that, I say it's a wrap. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember the $100 draw. Yes, you want to be a part of it. So just get into the comment section and interact with our videos. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.